The Martin Beck killings. The fire engine that disappeared.
As Gunvald Larsson left his office at the police station in Kungsholmsgatan, it was 10:30 at night, and he had no great plans to become a hero.
It was cold and windy outside, with gusts of dry and swirling snow.
On his way home, he was to carry out a minor duty which would hardly set him back more than 5 minutes.
Zackerson?
Yeah.
Bad news, I'm afraid.
What?
You've got 2 more hours to go. Isaacson's off sick.
Oh, you're joking.
You'd be better off standing on the slope, you know.
Have you stood on the slope?
No?
It's bloody freezing.
Well, what can you see from here?
Enough.
Well, that's debatable, isn't it? Any sign of Marv?
Nothing whatsoever. He turned the lights off about 3 hours ago. They had a bit of a party in the upstairs flat, but that's over now.
Has anyone left the house?
I haven't seen anyone.
Well, what have you seen?
3 people went into the building, a man and 2 women. I think they went to the party.
Oh, you think?
I haven't got X-ray eyes.
Are you cold?
What do you think?
Don't be so bloody rude. I'm asking you a civilised question.
Sorry.
I have to take responsibility for this dismal business. I don't want it screwed up by a 22-year-old moron.
Actually, I'm 23.
Christ almighty.
I was just saying...
Just get yourself to the station at Rosenlundsgarten and get a bit of coffee inside it. In precisely half an hour, I want you back here, fresh and alert, so get a move on.
Zackerson did not need to be told twice.
Gunvald Larsson then began climbing up the slope, muttering under his breath because the thick rubber soles of his Italian winter shoes couldn't get a grip on the icy stones.
Zackerson had been right, in that the slope did not offer any shelter whatsoever, and Larsson had been right when he said that this was the best observation point.
There were 4 flats in the old building, 2 on the ground floor, 2 on the first floor.
On the left upstairs flat lived an unmarried woman in her 30s with 3 children.
Below her on the left lived an old man who was often drunk and, in spite of his venerable age, was a regular visitor to the cells at Maria police station.
To the right on the first floor lived a man who was also known to the police. His name was Roth, and it was him who'd had the party.
Below this flat lived a man called Malm. This was the man who was under surveillance.
Larsson looked at his watch.
9 minutes past 11.
8 minutes left.
Larsson yawned and raised his arms to start beating them around himself.
At that precise moment, the house exploded.
What?
Larsson ran, slipping and swearing down the stony slope and across the street.
The ground floor flat on the right had been in flames for several seconds.
He flung open the front door and saw at once that it was too late. The hallway was already burning, as was the wooden staircase up to the next floor.
As far as he knew, there were 11 people inside the building.
He looked swiftly round for a ladder. There was nothing.
A window was thrown open from the right-hand upstairs flat, and he thought he could make out a woman or a girl.
Right, jump! Jump to the right! No, jump! Now, I'll catch you! Just do it!
She was not at all heavy, and he caught her expertly without her even touching the ground.
She was naked and her whole body was shaking, but she appeared uninjured.
Now there was someone else at the window, a man wrapped in a sheet.
Right, jump! Jump as far out as you can, to the right!
This time he was less successful. The man was considerably heavier than the girl. He hit Larsson's shoulder with his left arm and then thudded onto the uneven cobblestones. At the last moment, Larsson managed to get his left hand under the man's head and save him from cracking his skull open.
As he turned around, a third person, a woman in a black bra, jumped from the now blazing flat up on the right. Her red hair was alight, and she fell much too near the wall.
Larsson rushed in among burning planks and dragged her away from immediate danger. Extinguishing the fire in her hair with snow, she was badly burned.
The windows furthest to the left on the second floor were flung open.
The woman had a child in her arms.
Throw the child! Throw her!
The woman flung down the child so unhesitatingly that he was taken by surprise.
He saw the bundle falling straight at him, and at the last moment flung out his arms like a goalkeeper saving a penalty.
The child was very small.
Larsson had no experience of children and could not remember ever having held one.
Zacharysson, where the hell have you been? Where the hell's the fire engine?
He should be here. I mean, I saw the fire from Rosalind's garden, so I ran. I telephoned.
Well, call him again. Get the fire engines, get an ambulance, and get a bloody move on.
Zacharysson ran.
And the police!
Zacharisson's cap fell off and he stopped to pick it up.
Jesus.
Much more smoke than before was pouring out through the window where the woman was now standing with another child, a small boy in blue pyjamas.
She flung the boy just as swiftly and unexpectedly as before, but this time Larsson was more prepared and he caught the boy safely in his arms.
What's your name?
Larsson,
Are you a fireman?
I'm a policeman.
Then Larsson looked up again and was hit by a tile. It was red hot and blood poured down his face. The woman at the window then jumped.
That did not go too well.
The woman landed on top of him and Larsson fell onto the ground, hitting the back of his head.
Are you alright?
No.
Have you got another child?
Yes.
Where is she?
The attic.
The whole of the right-hand side of the house was now on fire, the attic included.
The old man was still in the left-hand ground floor flat. For some reason it had not begun to burn yet, but it could only be a matter of minutes before the roof fell in.
Larsson saw a large stone a few yards away.
The stone weighed at least 40 to 50 pounds.
He raised it above his head and flung it with all his strength through the window on the ground floor flat.
This shattered the window and the window frame too.
He covered his face with his scarf and hauled himself inside.
Immediately he saw the old man lying on the floor. He was unconscious.
Larsson slung him over his shoulder and climbed out of the window in a cascade of falling sparks. He could hardly see for the blood running down his face.
Blood-stained, soot-streaked, drenched with sweat, he stood among these hysterical, shocked, unconscious, weeping, dying people.
What happened? How did that...
At that moment, the roof fell in.
Larsson looked at his watch.
16 minutes. What? I said 16 minutes.
16 minutes had gone by since he'd stood, frozen, up on that hill.
Chief Inspector Hammar, Larsson, Colbert and Beck were sitting in Hammar's office in Kungsholmsgatan.
Larsson,
Yes.
are you quite sure that the fire began in Mom's flat?
Yes.
And is it quite certain that only 3 people were killed in the fire?
Looks like it. Mom, Roth, who lived above Mom, and then Christina Modig. She was 14 years old, slept in a room in the attic. And one of the women...
The redhead.
She's critically ill and probably won't survive.
Who were the people who got themselves out then?
Yeah, well, first of all, they didn't get themselves out. I was the one who got them out. If I hadn't been standing there when the house exploded, then not a damn one of them would still be alive. And second, I didn't write their names down. I had other things to do at the time.
Shouldn't you go home to bed?
What, you trying to get rid of me?
Well, no, you just don't seem...
What? What don't I see?
Yourself?
I think he seems exactly like himself, only more so.
What's that supposed to mean?
All right, Larsson.
All right, Larsson. What about all right, Colbert?
So, we find ourselves in the strange position of not knowing what happened.
It's not all that strange. I hardly ever know what's happened.
I mean that we don't know whether the fire was arson or not.
Chief Inspector Hammar had already begun to count the days until he retired.
And he now regarded every serious crime of violence as an act of persecution directed solely at himself.
Why should it be arson?
Well, of course it was bloody well arson. The house practically blew up in front of my nose.
At that moment, Ruin appeared at the doorway.
Gunvald,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be in hospital.
Is he?
Well, can't you see he's not well?
Well, now you mention it.
I'm taking you to the hospital right now.
Larsson,
Yeah.
why were you shadowing Mom?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Do you believe him?
Who?
Larsson.
About what?
Do you really think he didn't know why he was shadowing Mom?
Why would he lie about it?
How did he even end up with this thing?
Mom was arrested for something else, nothing to do with murder, car theft. They tried to keep him in custody, but they had to let him go. And since they didn't want him to vanish, they asked Hammar for help, and he asked Larsson to organise surveillance.
Why did he ask him?
I think since Stenstrom was killed, Larsson's considered the best we have at that kind of thing. Anyhow, it turned out to be a stroke of genius.
Did it?
Well, he saved 7 lives.
That's true.
I mean, how many do you think Run would have got out of that house, or Melander?
Not many.
Maybe none.
Maybe. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Why have you always got a cold?
I haven't always got a cold.
There's something wrong with you.
Well, you could talk.
The ruins of the fire looked melancholy. All that was left of the house were the foundations, 1 chimney stack, and a huge heap of charred boards, blackened bricks and fallen tiles.
Half a dozen experts in grey overalls were crawling about, carefully poking in the ashes with sticks and short spades.
Hoses still snaked their way along the ground.
And down on the road there was a fire engine.
In the front seat sat 2 firemen playing paper, scissors, stone.
Why's the fire engine still here?
Extinguishing the embers. Routine.
The trip to the burnt-out house told them nothing they didn't already know.
At least it's Friday.
What's so good about Friday?
Day off tomorrow.
Leonard Colbert adored his wife, who was called Gun, and his 6-month-old daughter, who was called Bodil.
Martin Beck did not adore his wife Inga, and she did not adore him. His 16-year-old daughter, whom he loved, was rarely at home these days, and he didn't have much of a relationship with his son.
Consequently, Fridays were not the same source of joy for Martin Beck as they were for Leonard Colbert.
And consequently, Mondays were not the same source of unhappiness for Martin Beck as they were for Leonard Colbert.
Got some background on Mom. A couple of police reports. Recording of an interview.
Okay, let's hear it.
Right. Last year, so many cars were stolen, it was thought that a large, well-organised gang must have been involved. Mom was probably some kind of cog in a machine.
Large cog or a small cog?
Small, I should imagine, very small.
How did he get caught?
On the 24th of February, he was stopped at a roadblock. He was driving a Chevrolet Impala 1963 model. It turned out that the registration number was on a list of stolen cars. But according to this list, the registration belonged to a Volkswagen, not a Chevrolet. Mm-hmm. Mom said he'd borrowed the car from his friend Olofsson. A few weeks before this happened, police had found quite a bit of evidence against Olofsson.
Evidence of what?
Car theft, organised, large scale.
Right.
But then they couldn't find him.
Couldn't find Olofsson?
Yeah, that's right.
And what did Mom have to say about that?
Mom said Olofsson lent him the car because he didn't need it while he was abroad. He said Olofsson was in Poland. Probably Mom worked for Olofsson, but taking Mom's standard of living into consideration, he can't have paid him much.
I'll get it. Leonard Colbert speaking. What?
What's the matter?
Okay. Thank you. Yep, thanks.
Who was that?
The pathologist.
What did he say?
Mom wasn't killed in the fire. He was dead before the fire even started. Suicide.
Really?
Apparently he gassed himself.
On the afternoon of Wednesday, the 13th of March, Gunvald Larsson was for the first time given permission to get out of bed at South Hospital.
He looked in the mirror and was not happy with what he saw.
The hospital had given him a dressing gown that was several sizes too small, and its colour had faded into obscurity.
On his feet he wore a pair of black wooden-soled shoes, which had either been made for Goliath or had been intended as a sign to hang outside a clogmaker's.
Inspector Rune speaking.
It's me.
Who's that?
Gunvald, who do you think?
Gunvald, how are you?
How did I end up here?
Where?
In the hospital.
You had concussion.
Really?
You were a bit balmy, actually.
Last thing I remember is wanting to hit Leonard Colbert.
That was 5 days ago.
5 days?
How are your hands?
What, they seem okay. I don't know, they're covered in bandages.
Well, that's good.
What, do you have to begin every sentence with the word where? What's so funny?
Nothing. What do you want?
Right, at the back, on the left, at the middle drawer of my desk, there's a spare set of keys. Can you go to my house and fetch my dressing gown and slippers?
Well, I think I could manage that.
They give me a pair of shoes, look like coffins. Right, how's the case gone?
Which case?
The fire.
Oh, that's closed.
What do you mean it's
Well, it
closed?
turns out it was an accident.
An accident?
More or less.
Has everyone gone mad? Has everyone gone bloody mad?
Mr. Larson, can you keep your voice down, please?
No.
This is a hospital.
Oh, really? I thought it was a golf course.
Mr. Larson, replace the receiver immediately.
I'll come as soon as I can. I'll bring the report so you can see for yourself.
Did you hear me?
OK. OK, thanks. Yeah.
Back to bed. Now.
Larsson stamped angrily back to his bed in his clodhopper shoes.
Gunvald Larsson was now wearing his own clothes.
And trying to avoid looking at the flowers that Rune had brought with him.
An abominable concoction of carnations and tulips.
But even if the flat was as full of gas as a Mayday balloon, then something or someone must have damn well ignited it.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, almost anything can cause an explosion in a gas-filled room.
Almost anything?
The slightest spark.
Yeah, but the spark has got to come from somewhere.
There's hundreds of explanations.
No, there's only one explanation, and no one has bothered to find out what it is.
Rune glanced with modest pride at his flower arrangement.
A short circuit in a switch or a badly insulated cable. That's enough to make a spark. During the fire, the whole electrical system, every fuse blew. No one can prove that one fuse went earlier than the others.
Tell me this. Why would Goran Malm kill himself?
He had no money. He was an alcoholic. He's twice divorced. Didn't see his kids. He knew the police were after him. Why didn't he kill himself before now?
Still doesn't explain where the spark came from. Who questioned the survivors?
No one.
No one?
They had nothing to do with Mom.
Well, where are they all now?
They're still in hospital, except the kids. They were taken in by social services. And Madeleine Olsen probably won't live.
Oh, so the others could be questioned?
Not if the case is closed.
Yeah, do you yourself believe it was an accident?
I do. I really do. I'm sorry, Gunvald.
Where are you going?
I've got to get Matt's birthday present. It's tomorrow. Under will kill me if I miss the shops.
What are you going to get him?
A fire engine.
What?
A fire engine.
Oh, you mean a toy?
Well, what did you think I meant?
I don't know.
Well, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a few days.
Hey there.
Yeah?
You picked those flowers off somebody's grave.
Rune was clearly offended.
Well, I think they're nice.
The next day was Thursday the 14th of March, and there was no visible sign that spring was round the corner.
At the South Police Station, Colbert was sitting gulping coffee out of a paper cup and stuffing himself with marzipan cupcakes, scattering crumbs all over Martin Beck's desk.
Martin Beck himself was drinking tea in the vain hope that it would be better for his stomach.
I don't really like this fire.
What?
Something I don't like about it.
What are you talking about? Everything's clear. Malm turns on the gas and kills himself. He doesn't care what happens next. Everything clicks, and don't go saying that it clicks too well.
Beck waited until Colbert was out of the way, then dialed the forensics lab and asked to speak to a man called Hjelm.
What do you want?
You saw Malm's body before and after the autopsy, didn't you?
Yes, obviously.
Was there anything at all you would consider unusual?
Not exactly.
Not exactly.
Well, the only thing, if anything, is that the body was so well burned. From all sides, even on his back, even though he was lying on his back. But of course the mattress was burning too, so that's not necessarily an issue. Isn't this case closed?
Yes, it is.
Then why are you calling me?
Thanks. Thank you. You've been very helpful.
Who's being helpful?
No one.
No one?
Dry cleaners. Staying open late for me.
Really?
The blow that produced a veritable constellation of stars was delivered before lunch on the following day.
Wednesday, the 20th of March.
Colbert was sitting at his desk in the South Police Station out in Vestberga, trying to solve a chess problem.
It wasn't going too well, because instead he kept thinking of what he was going to have for lunch.
Colbert speaking.
Hello? Yeah, I'm here.
What can I do for you?
Me? What can you do for me?
Well, you called me.
Sometimes I begin to doubt your sanity.
Sorry?
10 days ago, Melander sent me several hundred objects from the fire, including a large stone with Larson's fingerprints all over it.
All right.
You can say, all right, like that, because you're not the ones who have to sit here and go through it all. It's a hell of a lot easier to put bits of frozen dog shit into a plastic bag and write unknown object on the label than it is to try and find out what it is. Wouldn't you agree?
I know you've got a lot on.
A lot on?
Yes.
Huh? Do you know how many analyses we do every year? 50,000. And do you know how many staff we have? So we worked on that stuff for 6 days, and then Einar Rune called up and said case closed. Apparently, we could chuck the whole lot in the bin.
Well, that's right. The case is closed.
No, because before we even started to clear up, Gunvald Larsson called me and said the case isn't closed at all and that we must carry on.
He had no authority to do that. Did you know he had a serious bang on the head?
On Monday, I met Hammer, quite by chance, and he said exactly what Rune said. The case is closed. Then, 15 minutes later, Martin Beck, of all people, phones me up and wonders whether we can find anything unusual about the fire.
When did he do that?
Monday afternoon. So now, today, I try and call someone who might be responsible for all this. And I get Larsson's off sick, Hammer's on leave, Beck's in a meeting, and Mellander's in the lavatory. So now, I'm speaking to you.
Unfortunately.
This man, Mom, was lying on his back on a mattress, and he was remarkably burnt on his back. Both Beck and I concluded that this was because the mattress had burned too. That sounds logical, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course, but you know this case really is closed.
I rather doubt that.
Why?
We found a few things in the mattress which shouldn't have been there.
What things?
A small spring.
Mattresses have springs.
Not a mattress spring, you idiot. A tiny spring to connect a chemical compound with a detonator.
A detonator?
We also found an aluminium capsule and the remains of certain chemicals. The fire was deliberate.
Are you sure?
Someone placed a detonator with a delayed fuse in the mattress.
I have never heard of anything like it.
Well, there have been several devices like it used in France. The ones I've seen could be set for up to 8 hours in advance.
But surely you can hear it ticking.
Well, no more than a wristwatch. And if it was buried in
Are
the
you
mattress...
trying to tell me that Mom went home and turned on the gas and then lay down on a bed in which someone else had already placed a time bomb? That he took his own life and was dead when he was murdered?
I'm just telling you the facts as I see them. Explanations I leave completely to you. That's what the police are for. Apparently...
Chief Inspector Hammer, Colbert and Beck were gathered at the police station in Kungsholmsgatan.
Hamar looked grimmer than ever.
He had been secure in the belief that the fire did not concern him, and he had almost forgotten it.
Now the detestable Hjelm had ruined all that.
All right, so Mom was being watched because they hoped he would lead them to Olofsson.
Mm-hmm. And they hoped Mom would testify against Olofsson in exchange for a lighter sentence.
So it's safe to say that Mom had incriminating evidence against Olofsson.
Well, he certainly knew what Olofsson was up to.
So Olofsson could have planted the bomb in order to silence Mom.
It's a possibility.
The only possibility you've got right now.
Yes.
What do we know about Olofsson so far?
On the 12th of February, police discovered that Olofsson had several stolen cars at his summer cottage. There was no one at home, but they found paint, sprayers, number plates and registration certificates in the garage.
2 men were sent to Olofsson's flat in Stockholm, but he wasn't there. And he's still missing.
When was this?
February 12th.
A Monday.
When Mom was caught, he said that Olofsson had gone abroad.
So they kept the flat in Stockholm and the cottage under observation.
Does anyone know when he was last in his flat?
Don't think so.
Get going then, gentlemen. Ask the neighbours and everyone you can get hold of. Everyone who had anything to do with Olofsson.
Rune was dispatched to talk to Olofsson's mother. Beck and Colbert went first to the flat in Stockholm and then on to the summer cottage.
A week passed, and there was no news.
On Monday, the 25th of March, Larsson returned to work.
Right, what the hell's going on?
Read this.
What is it?
The latest report on the investigation into the fire.
What does it say?
That Marm was a car thief, and he was in a gang with someone called Olofsson. Marm was a small cog in a big machine. Olofsson was a slightly bigger cog, although still pretty small, as cogs go, but bigger than Marm.
What the hell are you talking about?
Read the report. The report explains it better.
Well, you told me the case was closed.
Well, it was till Hjelm found out someone put a time bomb in Marm's mattress.
Are you making this up?
We think it was Olofsson who planted the bomb.
What, in the mattress?
Yeah.
A time bomb?
Hjelm says they have them in Algeria.
Well, where's Olofsson now then?
He's missing. Maybe abroad. Interpol can't find him. Hang on. Hello, Rune speaking. Sorry, hang on a minute. It's just me wife. Hang on a minute, Under. Just read the report. It's all in the report. Sorry, Under, go on. What? Is Matt's all right? Well, why is he crying? He's disappeared. Well, are you sure? Oh, all right. Well, keep on looking, and I'll speak to you later. Yeah. All right, bye-bye. Oh, I can't believe it.
What's happened?
His fire engine. You know, Matt's fire engine, the one I got for his birthday, it's disappeared. I mean, it's this big. We live in a tiny flat. I mean, where could it go?
The fire engine?
Yeah.
The fire engine that disappeared?
What?
Has anyone spoken to Zacharison?
Zacharison?
That idiot in Maria?
Yeah, he doesn't know anything useful.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Well, where are you going?
Find Zacharison.
But he doesn't know anything.
I want to ask him about the fire engine.
What fire engine?
The fire engine that disappeared.
Six hours later, Larsson was wondering how anyone was supposed to find a murderer in this city when he couldn't even find a policeman.
Eventually, he traced him to the Eriksdal baths.
Get out.
What?
Get out of the water.
What are you doing here?
I just want to know one thing.
Can I get dressed?
What?
It's just it's cold standing here.
Jesus, every time I see you, you're complaining it's cold.
Well, if I could just get dressed.
When you got to the fire in Hurlgarten, you whittled on about how the fire service ought to have been there already. What did you mean by that?
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't me that called the fire service. Not the first time, it was someone else.
Who?
I've no idea. I saw the fire when I got to Rosengarten, so I ran back to the nearest telephone box, and Central Alarm said they'd already been called, and that a fire engine was already there.
And was it?
No. That was a strange thing. And then you told me to... So then I ran back again.
And what did Central Alarm say then?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't remember.
How can you be so unimaginably stupid that you've not told anyone about this?
But what should I have told them?
The fire service had already been alerted when you called them and the fire engine had disappeared.
I don't understand.
Christ almighty. Do you remember what you told Central Alarm the second time you called them? Do you remember what you told them?
There's a fire. There's a fire in Hurlgarten.
And they didn't say that the fire engine was already there?
No. No, they didn't.
But the first time you called, did you shout the same thing? There's a fire in Hurlgarten?
No. The first time I left the address, I told them 37 Ringvägen.
But the house was in Hurlgarten?
Yeah, but the correct address is 37 Ringvägen.
So you said 37 Ringvägen the first time, but Hurlgarten the second time?
Well, everybody knows that 37 Ringvägen's in Hurlgarten.
I didn't know that. Someone called Central Alarm at exactly 23:10 at exactly the same time as the bomb exploded.
How do you know that?
Because I've spoken to that idiot Zacharison and I've spoken to the fire service.
Go on.
Right, and the only person who with any certainty could have known that the fire was to break out at 23:10 is the person who planned the fire.
Olofsson.
Well, Olofsson or whoever it was.
Why would he ring the fire service?
Probably because he didn't want to kill everyone, just Mom.
A girl answered the phone, some girl called Doris Mortensen. Now, I expect she can tell us something about the voice, but she's on holiday. She'll be back in 3 weeks.
Excellent work, Gunvald. Really excellent work.
Thank you.
The days went by. A new month began. Another week passed. Soon almost two. And still no trace of the man called Olofsson.
The girl called Doris Mortensen returned from holiday on the evening of Saturday the 20th of April.
At 8 o'clock on Monday morning, she was standing in front of a large mirror in her bedroom admiring her suntan.
She pulled a dress over her head and went to open the door.
There stood a gigantic blonde man in a very expensive suit.
He stared at her with china blue eyes.
Hi.
Hi.
How was Greece?
Wonderful.
And did you know that the military junta tortures people to death there every day?
I didn't.
How is that possible?
I just booked a holiday.
She looked at him appraisingly.
This was a real man. She could see that at once. Nice.
Who are you?
Detective Larsson. At 11:10 on the evening of the 7th of March this year, you received a false alarm over the telephone. Do you remember it?
Yes. It was Ringvägen in Sundbyberg.
Good. Now, what did the person say?
There's a house on fire at 37 Ringvägen, ground floor.
Man or woman?
Man.
And you're certain about his actual words?
Pretty certain.
Did you notice anything else?
As soon as I found out it was a false alarm, I tried to remember the conversation. The police usually want to know about it afterwards. The police here, I mean. But this time they didn't inquire.
The man scowled. It suited him. She thrust her right hip forward a little and at the same time bent her knee, so that the heel came up from the floor. She had good legs, and now they were suntanned as well.
So, what else?
He was calling from a public telephone. I heard it clicking in the coin box before the call was put through. And he was probably calling from a phone box in Sundbyberg.
Why do you say that?
Well, because the old kind of notices are still in some of those phone boxes, with a line direct to us. They're trying to get everyone to ring the emergency number now, to Central Alarm in Greater Stockholm.
Oh, that's good. That is very good, thanks.
I was going to ask him what his name was, but he hung up.
Okay.
Aren't you the man who saved all those people? I recognise your face from the photo.
Well, you've obviously got a very good memory.
I didn't imagine you were so tall. And so...
She wished she hadn't put her slippers on. She had good feet. She knew that.
And what else do you remember about the man?
Well, he wasn't Swedish. He had an accent, quite a strong one.
And what kind of accent?
French, maybe?
Why do you think French?
She frowned and thought back. She must look quite interesting now.
Well, he said house, or more ows, for house. I hardly heard the H.
Owls instead of house.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That is really great, thank you.
You're welcome.
You are the greatest.
Really?
Remembering things.
Oh.
Is it even possible that Olofsson speaks Swedish with a strong accent and says ours instead of house?
Larsson, Beck, Colbert and Rune were all gathered at the police station in Kungsholmsgarden.
Sounds unlikely.
It does.
Well, so who was it then?
It's a mystery.
If Olofsson was the person who telephoned, then he might well have disguised his voice.
Well, we know one thing, don't we?
What's that?
Well, whoever it was who made the call made it from a telephone with one of those notices. The ones with the number for Sundbyberg Fire Department.
Rather than Central Alarm?
Yeah. So the question is, how many telephone boxes are there with the old type of notices?
I've no idea.
But we could send someone out with a map to mark all the telephone boxes with the old notices and try and work out where he made the call. And maybe, if someone saw him, we could identify him.
That is a hell of a long shot.
What, have you got any better ideas?
And who's going to go looking? Who's got that time?
And what about that new bloke you've got in Vestberg, Tacker?
Skacker. Benny Skacker.
You could send him, couldn't you?
For Martin Beck, the weekend proved extremely trying. He had a gnawing anxiety about the case, which was clearly about to become totally entangled, and he received another blow of a more personal nature.
His daughter Ingrid informed him that she was moving out.
It was true that for a long time he'd seen this moment coming. What he hadn't foreseen was his own reaction.
His mouth went dry, and he felt quite dizzy.
Dad?
Yes.
I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway.
What?
Why don't you do the same thing?
What do you mean?
Why don't you move out? You should think about it. At least think about it.
Well, yes, but...
He stopped then.
Quite simply, he didn't know what to say.
On Monday the 29th, two events occurred almost simultaneously.
One of them was not particularly remarkable.
Here's my report.
Your report?
On the telephone boxes.
Oh, okay, thanks.
There's 6 telephone boxes where the old notices remain, also 2 more possible ones.
Well, what do you mean, possible ones?
Notices which were still up on the 7th of March, but have since been taken away.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Skacker stood 6 feet away from him, strongly resembling a dog sitting up begging for a sugar lump.
Martin Beck speaking.
It's Pa Monson in Malmo.
Hi.
I hear you're looking for someone called Olofsson.
That's right.
And we found him.
Where?
Sitting in a car at the bottom of the harbour.
Oh.
He was killed with a stone stuffed into a sock. There wasn't a thing in the car except the weapon and 2/3 of Olofsson.
When did you find him?
3 weeks ago, but I didn't know who he was till today.
Are you sure it's him?
Well, the dental record for his upper jaw fits.
And the rest of it, fingerprints?
We couldn't check on fingerprints. He'd been in the water a long time.
How long?
At least 2 months.
Which means he must have been dead on the 7th of March.
Definitely. Maybe a month before then.
Well, he was last seen in Stockholm on the 3rd of February.
So that helps me fix a date then. He must have been killed somewhere between the 4th and the 8th of February.
I'll come and see you as soon as I can.
Walpurgis Eve is an important day in Sweden. A day when people put on their spring clothes and get drunk and dance and are happy.
Martin Beck and Pa Månsson spent this happy day in a mortuary in Malmö,
looking at what was left of Bertil Olofsson.
Is there anything that connects Olofsson with Malmö?
It looks as if Olofsson mainly dealt in stolen cars. And drugs, apparently, but mainly cars. Maybe he drove the cars to Malmö to sell them on. I don't know yet.
Well, our starting point isn't so bad.
Isn't it?
We know Olofsson was in Stockholm on the 3rd of February. The doctor swears he must have been dead at the latest on the 7th. I can probably find someone who met him.
Really?
Malmö is small. And the circles Olofsson moved in are even smaller.
If we assume there's a connection between the attempted murder of Malm and the murder of Olofsson...
It seems unlikely the two events aren't related.
Can we assume that there's also a connection with Malm's suicide?
Well, he could have done it because he knew the game was up.
Exactly.
So he was scared of being killed, but by whom? Only a pro uses something like a stone in a sock.
Or a time bomb in a mattress.
Which is why the professional called the fire service. It was his job to kill Malm, but he wasn't the slightest bit interested in killing everyone else in the building.
Why are people eliminated by professional killers?
Olofsson and Malm resprayed cars, found them false number plates, and then drove them across the border to some country where they either sold them or handed them over to someone else.
So, they were managing the Swedish end of this whole enterprise, and then they made some kind of mistake, and the firm they were working for decided to get rid of them.
Who the hell is going to believe a theory like that?
Nobody.
At this moment, Einar Rune came into the room.
Nobody's going to believe what?
Einar?
Yeah?
We have come to the conclusion that Malm and Olofsson worked for an international crime syndicate. We think the syndicate got tired of them and sent a hired assassin, probably a foreign professional, to finish them off. What do you think?
Sounds like bollocks.
There you go.
Gunvald Larsson didn't have much hope of success when he suggested sending Benny Skaka out to try and find any trace of the man who called up the fire station on the 7th of March.
Skaka, however, took on his assignment with great enthusiasm.
His work consisted of visiting tenants in every building within the encircled areas, and even for a young man with well-trained leg muscles, this was tiring work.
His line of inquiry was also impossibly vague. All he could ask people was whether they knew of any foreign man
living in the building at the end of March
who may have made a call to the emergency services
on the 7th.
Larsson and Beck had long since given up asking him how it was going.
On Friday, Skaka went to his beloved Sundbyberg to continue knocking on doors.
The first door was opened by a lady with henna-coloured hair and glasses with green plastic frames.
Benny Skaka had to repeat himself several times to make it clear what he wanted.
Oh, yes, I rent one of my rooms. That is, I used to. The last one I had was a Frenchman. Oh, was he Arab? He sounded French, anyway.
A French Arab?
That's right. I think so, anyway, but he spoke Swedish. Not very well, but I could understand him all right, so it wasn't any kind of problem.
Can you tell me when he was here?
I can tell you exactly when. He was the last person to take the room, actually. It was the 4th of March he arrived, paid the rent in full in advance. But he left on the 8th, didn't stay the whole week. I said to him, you can't get any money back now because you booked a week. But he didn't seem to mind.
What was his name?
Alphonse Lassalle.
You could have knocked Skaka down with a feather.
As he rushed back to Kungsholmsgatan,
in his mind,
he had already been promoted
and was yet another step closer to becoming chief of police.
In Kungsholmsgatan, Gunvald Larsson said,
What was he wearing?
I didn't ask.
Well, what kind of overcoat did he have? Suit, shoes, socks, shirt, tie? Did he smoke?
I don't know.
Well, why didn't the stupid woman send in a registration card when she had a foreigner living with her?
I didn't ask.
Well, what did you ask?
Just, you know, what I've said already.
They found several fingerprints in the room in Sundbyberg.
When they eliminated all those belonging to Mrs. Borg and Skaka, 3 were left, one of which was a thumbprint preserved in thick, greasy hair oil.
On Tuesday, they sent out copies of the fingerprints to Interpol.
What else could they do? On the Monday after Ascension Day, Chief Inspector Hamar told Beck to call Månsson up and ask him how things were going.
Hamar was standing 6 feet away from Beck when he made the call.
Beck regretted calling the moment he heard Månsson's voice.
Well, when I've anything to tell you, I'll let you know.
Right. Ask him if there are any further developments, generally speaking.
I just wondered if there are any further developments, generally speaking.
Who is that mumbling in the background?
Chief Inspector Hamar.
It's like that, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Ask him if he's taken the international perspective into consideration.
Chief Inspector Hamar would like to know if you've taken the international perspective into consideration.
Yes, I have.
Yes, he has. He's gone.
Listen, about Olofsson. I found people who knew him a bit, but nothing we didn't already know before. Apparently he had a big mouth. Apparently he sold drugs. He was always driving a new car, and he turned up here in Malmo about once a month. Stayed for a few days and was gone again. Mom was here too.
Really?
They were seen together a few times.
That's interesting.
And not much help.
No.
And more importantly,
What?
no one knows where he stayed when he was here.
Olofsson or Mom?
Olofsson. Apparently the girl's somewhere. I'll find her in the end. But it'll take a while. And I'm going on holiday in June.
When the telephone rang in Martin Beck's office, it was 3 minutes past 8 on a Friday morning.
Friday the 26th of July, 1967.
Pa Månsson was calling from Copenhagen to say that he had found the girl.
He also said he was taking the first flight he could get to Stockholm, and that he'd be with Beck by 1.
Everyone gathered at the police station in Kungsholmsgatan to hear what he had to say.
Everyone including Hamar, Melander, Larsson, Beck, Kolberg, Rune and Skaka.
Månsson arrived just before 1, looking suntanned, calm and pleased with himself.
Martin Beck wondered how the hell Månsson, a man 2 or 3 years older than himself, could appear so fit and contented.
It's like this. The woman's name is Nadja Eriksson. She's 37 years old and a sculptor.
Conversation with Nadja Eriksson, born on the 6th of May 1931 in Malmo. Shall we summarise all this about Bertil Olofsson?
I met him almost 2 years ago. The first time in September 1966 and the last time at the beginning of February this year. He came here regularly, mostly at the beginning of each month. When he was here in Copenhagen, he stayed with me.
Why was he such a regular visitor?
We had an arrangement. When I met Bertil Olofsson, quite by chance down in Nyhaven, I asked him if he had any of the drug Sympatina. Since they made it illegal, it's too expensive for me to buy on the black market. In exchange for Sympatina, I let him stay at my place. He had a kind of timetable. Usually he came via Malmö.
What did Olofsson do?
Oh, in the beginning he told me nothing, but in the end he couldn't stop himself talking. He was the kind of man who just couldn't keep his mouth shut. Oh, God, it's hot in here.
Månsson turned his toothpick over with his tongue.
There's a brief interruption here. Technical fault.
Okay.
The slightest success went to his head, and he was always talking about his big plans.
To summarise?
He and another man were getting hold of stolen cars in Stockholm. Then they fixed those cars so that no one would recognise them and drove them to the continent. Mostly to Poland, I think. But this business wasn't their idea. They were just underlings.
Corda's a bit tricky. I bored it off the Danes.
Månsson yawned and changed his toothpick.
When the woman came back on the tape, her voice sounded different, but it was not easy to say in what way.
I went to Malmö once. Mostly because I was curious. Actually, it was very boring. I met someone called Mom, his business partner. So Olofsson started talking about so-called head office making these massive profits and how him and Mom were getting nothing, and they did all the work and took all the risk. He said that if they took over the business, they'd all earn a hell of a lot of money. And in December, he did something unbelievably stupid.
And what was that?
He followed the guy who brought him the money. Took a plane to France or somewhere. But I think he really did make the trip because in January he seemed very nervous. He said head office were going to send a negotiator. When he talked, it was always in those sort of terms, as if it were really some ordinary business affair. On the 6th of February, he came here. At about 3 the next day, he went out, and he never came back.
So there we go.
Extremely skillful interrogation. How did you get her to talk so freely?
Oh, it wasn't difficult.
Brilliant. Just brilliant.
Can you rely on her?
Absolutely.
It occurred to both Martin Beck and Lennart Kohlberg that the interview was rather odd, but neither of them could work out why. What they didn't know was that Pa Månsson had spent the previous 3 days in bed with Nadja Eriksson, which was why their dialogue had an easy familiarity and a number of interruptions.
Well, that's about it for me. Excuse me a moment.
He stood up and went into the corridor.
Einar Run got up and followed him. For most of the time he had been sitting thinking of something besides Olofsson, namely that Månsson was said to be an expert in house searches.
Pa?
Yes?
Would you like to come back and have dinner with me and my wife?
I would, very much indeed. Thank you.
Good.
Månsson liked food very much. He had high standards and knew how to appreciate a well-prepared meal.
Crisply fried venison slices with scrambled eggs were followed by a dish of golden brown grouse with cloudberry jelly.
Månsson was a happy man.
Where does such wonderful food come from at this time of year?
We got the venison from my brother. He goes shooting quite a bit.
We've got a whole reindeer in the freezer.
Not with the antlers still on.
You can't eat the antlers, you've got to chop them off first.
And what are you going to be when you grow up?
A fireman.
Not a policeman?
God, no, I hope not.
Oh, thanks. I wanted to ask you something, actually.
What's that?
Well, the strangest thing happened. Matt's had this toy fire engine, and it just disappeared. I mean, it's just gone.
Have you looked under the reindeer?
I've looked everywhere. I've turned the house upside down.
Well, we'll find it. If it's here, we'll find it.
They went together through the whole flat, and Månsson couldn't find a place where Rune had not already searched several times.
Can you think of anything that's been moved out of here? Something that might have been sent for repair?
There's been nothing like that.
Has anyone else been here who might have taken it with them?
Well, no, because he wasn't well for that week. We didn't go out and we didn't have anyone to see us.
Has anyone else been here? Someone who came to fetch something or read the meter or another workman?
You think someone stole it?
Well, I was thinking it was more likely that someone took it by mistake.
Well, the caretaker was here. That was a few days after Matt's birthday. He was bleeding the radiators.
I didn't know that.
I forgot to tell you.
Did he have a toolbox with him?
Yes.
Big enough to hold a fire engine?
Definitely. Yes.
And does he live in the building?
I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Svensson. What can I do for you?
Is that your toolbox, Mr. Svensson?
Yeah?
How long is it since you last used it?
Well, I don't know, really. It's been a while because I've been in hospital from an operation. I'm all right now, but, well, I haven't been working for the last 3 weeks.
Do you mind if we take a look?
No, of course not.
Well, sorry, Mr. Svensson.
What's all this about?
There, among the hammers, screwdrivers and wrenches, lay the fire engine, red and shining.
The following morning, Lennart Kohlberg appeared at Martin Beck's door waving a piece of paper.
Bingo.
What?
Interpol have identified Alphonse Lassalle, the fingerprint. Only he's not really called Lassalle. No one knows what he's called. He's got loads of names. They're sending a list. He's suspected of drug trafficking, currency smuggling, murder. Long, long list.
Has he ever been caught?
Apparently not.
Perhaps he'll come back.
Optimist.
Why shouldn't he come back? He speaks Swedish. If the firm decides to build up its Stockholm branch again, he'd be extremely valuable. And he has no idea that we know who he is.
But we don't know who he is. We don't even know his real name. And even if he does come back, then what can we prove?
We can't blame the fire on him, but he's pretty well tied to the murder of Olofsson.
That's true, but that's Monson's case, not ours. And anyway, he won't be back.
Well, I'm going to ask Interpol and the French police to keep their eyes open.
You do that, but he won't be back.
Just over a month later, Lennart Colbert was sitting in his office in Vestberga, puzzling over the whereabouts of a 17-year-old girl. People were constantly missing, especially girls, and mostly in the summer. Nearly all of them appeared again.
It was raining outside. Fresh, clean summer rain.
Colbert liked rain, especially this fresh kind of rain after oppressive heat, and he looked with pleasure at the grey clouds.
He looked at the clock. 5:30. Time to go home.
And then, of course, the telephone rang.
Hello.
Hello, it's Strömgren.
What is it?
Something for Beck?
He's on leave.
Oh.
What is it?
Telex, but I don't really understand it.
Read it to me.
LaSalle inquired about, probably en route from Brussels to Stockholm, extra flight SNX3 estimated at Arlanda, 18-15 hours. Name Samir Malgach, passport Moroccan.
Great. That's just great.
Do you know what it's about?
Yes.
So what do I do now?
I'll sort it out. Did you say 6:15?
18-15 hours, yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
Gun, it's me. It looks as if I'll have to go out to Arlanda.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yes, it is.
What time will you be back?
No later than 8.
Okay. Hurry home.
I will.
Leonard,
Yeah?
I love you.
She hung up before he had a chance to reply.
Skaka!
Skaka did not immediately respond.
The only thing Colbert could hear was the rain, and in some way or other, this was no longer pleasant.
It's a chat, okay?
Okay.
Nothing's going to happen. I mean, there's a small chance we can unnerve him enough so that he gives himself away, but let's see.
He's very dangerous, isn't he?
He's cunning and ruthless, but probably not all that bright. Of course, most policemen aren't all that bright either, so in that respect the odds are about even. Why are you fidgeting?
I don't like this holster.
You're wearing a gun?
Of course. Aren't you?
No. I don't believe in it. I think all policemen should be disarmed completely.
But then what do we do when we're faced with a gun?
How often in your life have you been faced with a gun?
Never, but that doesn't
No,
mean...
it doesn't, but it's a hell of a lot more likely to happen if you produce a gun yourself.
The plane was a Sabina Caravelle, and it landed 10 minutes late, by which time Colbert was already so tired of both Arlanda and his earnest colleague that he had nearly yawned his jaw out of joint.
Colbert was standing just by the door, and Skaka about 5 yards inside the airport lounge.
The passengers filed into the building.
First in was a prominent Russian diplomat,
2 yards behind him came his beautiful wife,
and 4 yards behind her came Alphonse Lassalle,
or Samir Malgach.
or whatever his name was.
Colbert involuntarily glanced at the Russian diplomat's beautiful wife,
This glance was the most fateful mistake Colbert had ever made in his life.
because Skaka misinterpreted it.
Colbert turned to Lassalle and raised his hat slightly.
Excusez-moi, Monsieur Malgach.
At that exact moment, Colbert saw Skaka take out his gun.
Skaka, for Christ's sake!
The moment Lassalle saw the pistol, he produced a knife which he must have had up his sleeve.
Colbert realized that the man intended to cut his throat, and while he had time to raise his left arm to parry the knife, the other man turned with lightning speed and stabbed him just below the ribs instead.
Like a hot knife through butter,
As the saying goes.
thought Colbert.
Colbert fell, doubled over, his head down to protect his carotid artery. The knife went up again.
At that moment, Skaka fired.
The bullet hit Lassalle, or whatever his name was, in the center of the chest and threw him violently backwards.
The scene was completely static. Skaka was standing there with his arm outstretched. Lassalle was lying flat on his back. Colbert was lying on his side with his hands pressed against his diaphragm. Everyone else was standing still, and no one had time to scream.
You all right?
No.
Why did you wink at me?
I didn't.
I thought... Oh, God.
And then panic and chaos broke out.
As usual.
When everything is over.
In the ambulance on the way to Murby Hospital, Leonard Colbert was at first immensely scared of dying. Then he looked at the man in the other stretcher. The man looked at Colbert with eyes that were rigid with pain and terror.
He tried to move his hand, perhaps to make the sign of the cross, but all he could manage was a slight jerk.
By the time they reached the hospital, Alphonse Lassalle,
or whatever his name
was dead.
Oh, this isn't fair. I wasn't even interested in this case.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes?
Leonard Colberg. Will he die?
No. No, he won't. But it'll be a month or two before he can thank you.
Thank me?
Didn't you save his life?
No. No, I didn't.
In The Fire Engine That Disappeared, by Maj Sjöwall and Wahlöö, Martin Beck was played by Stephen McIntosh and Lennart Colbert by Neil Pearson. Larsson was played by Ralph Ineson, Run by Russell Bolter, Gun Colbert, Sally Orrock, Nadia, Christine Absalom, Moensen, Stuart Macquarie, Zachrisson, Joe Sims, and Strumgren by Harry Livingston. Hamar was played by Patrick Brennan, Yelm by Robert Blythe, Skakke, Sam Alexander, Mrs. Borg, Susie Riddell, Ingrid Beck, Lauren Crace, Doris, Healy Beresford, and Mats, Greta Dudgeon. The narrators were Leslie Sharp and Nicholas Gleaves. The Fire Engine That Disappeared was translated from the Swedish by Joan Tate and dramatised for radio by Katie Hims. The director was Mary Peat.